Hi, Melissa.
Hey, how are you?
Well, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good, good.
We're both in what?
I'm really excited about this week's episode because it's so different for us and very just kind of fell in our laps. So I'm excited about it.
I agree. And what people don't even know is that we're kind of dressed for it too, like funky. So
that was an accident even on my part.
Well, yeah, that was a major accident for both of us, but it's working out really great. So if you're just joining us for the first time, you are obviously on YouTube at the Pointing It Out podcast channel. And I am Megan Holmes, and I'm here at my shop in St. Louis, Missouri. It's called the Needlepoint Clubhouse. And you can find me at STL Needlepoint on Instagram. And I'm here with my partner in crime, and we've been doing this for a little while now and having a great time at it. And do you want to introduce yourself?
I think I could do that. So I'm Melissa Mcleod. I'm here in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, just outside Detroit at my shop, The Wool and the Floss. This is an unusual view. I usually try to film these when our shop is closed, but today just didn't work out. So what you see is my fabric wall behind me, and Meg and I are both holed up in our offices. So, it's a little different view. So why not?
Maybe what I need to do is get you some curtains to put behind you so that you can pretend that you're in a fancy set too, which in reality, you should see the bomb that's going on around me. It's like all smoke and mirrors.
Well, I think my fabric's kind of cute. So, this is where my finishing manager comes and plucks things and all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of fun.
Very cool. I love it. So Melissa had this brilliant idea for a podcast this week, and I am so excited about it. I think I've explained before that one of the reasons why I love needlepoint so much is because of the nostalgia. We're hoping to stitch things that last for a really long time. And we are about to prove to you that these things stick around for a really long time.
They do.
Am I right about that?
My mom, the funny thing is, I hope my mom's not watching. I don't remember ever seeing her stitch, and I don't remember any finished objects. No, I remember a set of coasters. I don't remember a lot of finished needlepoint in my house.
Okay.
But her mom was an expert seamstress, and my aunt on the other side of the family also owned a knitting shop. So there was always this craftiness around me. But I think my mom was maybe a crafty kind of wannabe, because even my kids' children's stockings, she decided we should stitch them stockings when I was pregnant with twins. Well, she stitched about a half of one of them, and I stitched the other 1.5. So that's okay. Love you, Mom. She was always supportive of this whole craft thing. So she unfortunately just had electrical fire in her house and had to clean out everything. So thankfully not much was damaged, just basement stuff was damaged, but the whole house, everything needs to leave the house and come back in. So she's in this major, major, major clean out mode. So my sister calls me and says, Mom wants me to drop off her needlepoint projects, and she thought you might want them. And I'm like, of course I want them. Right. So I was out of town. I come home, and in my laundry room, you ready? You're going to crack up about this. Is this giant bag.
First of all, it says Budweiser on it.
It says Budweiser, which is my father's favorite beer, and of course is a St. Louis thing. This is terrible. And it's bursting at the seams down here. There's a little hole in it. So I have no idea if it was always stored in the Budweiser bag.
It also just looks like a trash bag.
Well, it's a laundry bag is what it is. It's like a big canvas laundry bag.
Okay, everybody, viewers, you need to go to our Organizing Your Space podcast and solutions for keeping your things tidy and archival packaging, because this is not okay.
So this is what I find in my laundry room. Okay. So what we're here to discuss is how needlepoint has changed over the times, because I remember most of these things from the 70s. Remember seeing them around my house, whatever. So, but it really has been it's really fun, because this is a walk down memory lane for me. And I think there's a lot of interesting information. I don't know how educational any of this is going to be.
FYI to everyone, Melissa has actually looked in this bag before. I have never seen what's about to come out of this bag. So this is going to be like mind blown, I think. So,
and I have to give my daughter a little bit of credit. She was home and I said to her, what should Megan and I talk about on the podcast this week? And Kaylee's like, that bag you got from Gamma, I think everything's amazing. So my daughter's 24. So I just thought that was really funny. So
what is old is new again. Let's just say.
There you go. So this first project, I mean, this whole thing just is cracking me up. Okay, so it's clearly in its original bag. Can you see like the string that's like yellowed and the plastic is falling apart?
Point. It's cotton, isn't it? And it's yellowed and it's kind of disintegrating a little bit. We've talked about
well, plastic sure is, yeah.
Okay, this is all educational, Melissa.
Okay.
Continue.
So this is the first one that really brought a smile to my face. So here is the cat.
Oh my God.
Now, the funniest thing about the cat, and you can see it better from the back, the whole thing is practically stitched.
Okay, that's adorable.
Okay, so what is even more adorable, sorry, I guess it's a little obnoxious on my part, but what's even a little bit more adorable is our house that I grew up in, we had a walk-in linen closet. I mean, it wasn't huge, but you like could walk in and close the door. And my mom kept this in this bag on the shelf in the closet. So I have this distinct memory of being in like second and third grade and sneaking in the closet and stitching on this because I thought my mom would be mad if she saw me. So some of these stitches are hers. Most of these stitches are hers, but some of these stitches are mine from when I was like 7 and 8 years old.
Oh my gosh. Right? And as you're mentioning that she's mad, she probably would have really actually encouraged you like stitch it so we can get it done, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So good.
Exactly. So I don't know why I thought I was going to get in trouble because it's like my mom was like the most mellow mom. Like, you know, in terms of getting in trouble with my mom, the biggest thing I ever did, like when I did something like terrible in high school, she's like, I would never get grounded. I never get yelled at. I'd get I'm really disappointed in you.
Ooh, so that's almost worse though.
Yeah. So she was a really good mom. So I don't think she would have been disappointed in me for this.
So I have to ask you real quick. So I don't know exactly what your intention is with all of these pieces and we can get to that. But
that's kind of what I want to talk about. I want to springboard off.
So let me tell you. So I don't know if you follow Jessica Tongle on Instagram.
Yeah.
She's a dear. She's Jessica Tongle Designs, I think. She just posted the sweetest picture of her just off to college daughter holding a shaped cat pillow.
Oh.
And I don't know the whole story, and Jessica will have to, if she watches, she's going to have to comment, but I think it was to kind of replicate their kitty. Like, so in other words, it was like a shaped pillow that they finished it in, and she had it on her bed in college. So I think that would be so cute as a little shaped pillow.
So, I mean, okay, the needle's still in here. It's kind of black. There we go. Yeah. It's kind of black. So this is what we talk about. Don't use old needles. Here's another little like case in point. So I'm still going to put it back in here for like emotional sake because I'm sure I stitched with that very needle. And this is all pattern iron. And of course, my mom has it all bagged up. So for anyone who's a new stitcher, pattern iron was like really all we had to choose from back in the 70s. And even, I don't know when people started using Pro Cotton, maybe the 80s, but it came in these giant hanks. I mean, doesn't this just make you want to stitch?
So pattern is not my thing, but I will say if you've ever been to the Quarter Stitch in New Orleans, they sell you
use it
wool by the, I don't know if it's length or weight, I can't remember, but yeah, so it's still out there and some people still really love it. I will say in the defense of pattern and it is the most durable,
absolutely
lasting, terrible on your hands.
I mean, not soft and lovely, but it is okay. I think I've mentioned before that I learned how to stitch in the shop that I'm in. Mm-hmm. And probably these bins were up front in the days of yore when it was Marnie, I gotta get her name, her right married name, Marnie Fesenden's Crewel and Embroidery Studio. And these type of bins would be filled with hanks of this. And then there'd be like all the shades of yellow and all the shades of orange. And then you could either buy it by the hank, and it's somewhere in here, there's a big giant hank. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. For, like I said, people have been stitching forever are going to be like, whatever, I use that, but I think that
they're done that.
Or you could literally say, I want 3 strands of this. Like, so anyways, so yeah, so this giant pillow, I feel that I need to do something with. So you're going to brainstorm that.
I'm calling gusseted shaped pillow. Give it a little shadow stitching.
Well, no, the background's all stitched. I can't get rid of all my mom's stitching. It's stitched.
We can't see the background. Oh, that's all white.
Yeah, like you can, like, there's only like these flowers aren't stitched.
Oh,
like 95% of this thing is stitched.
Well, I had no idea. I didn't see that. Yeah. I thought that whole background hadn't been done yet. Okay. So yes, pillow. And
I guess, for posterity's sake, sorry, Mom, I would not have stitched the background in white because the cat's white, but whatevs, Mom. It's all okay.
It was the 70s. It's all good. It's all good.
So, yeah, so something has to happen with that. Okay. So that was project number 1 in the bag, which
I love the kitty, but I'm ready for more.
Okay. So next, let's see what's next. This, my God, I don't want to, I can't even get stuff out of here. I'm so sorry.
You know what? I think you're doing this on purpose because this buildup is amazing.
Okay. Well, I don't want to do this one next because this is clearly a little bit later in her needle pointing world. So the next kind of fun thing, I have to show you the bag.
Yarn what?
The yarn winder. In Birmingham, Michigan.
That's so cute.
This was my aunt's store, which I didn't remember that it was my aunt's store because she owned it for like 6 years. And then unfortunately she got breast cancer and had to sell the store and blah, blah, blah. But I was like, I always say, oh, my aunt had a yarn store in downtown Birmingham, which is a, big community around here, about 45 minutes from here. And I could never remember the name. And I'm like, that's my aunt's store. So my mom kept the bags, and I don't know why. It was a knitting shop, so I don't really know why. But ready for this? So first of all, what's really funny in here is this whole document. General instructions for needlepoint.
Hold it up closer. We can't see. Oh my gosh, and it's done on a typewriter.
Yep. Isn't that so funny?
Oh, but you know what? They're having them do the sewing method too.
They are. And then they have a whole section on blocking. And then in the back, it has a whole, this is the directions for finishing.
What? You're holding us back here. What are we finishing?
So finishing, let's see, it has pin cushions, pillows, book covers, side fold eyeglasses, luggage straps, and camp stools. What's a camp stool? I don't know.
It's a luggage. It's the same as a luggage rack.
Okay. I never heard the term camp stool. Bell pulls, coasters, bricks, turtle doorstop. Is that like maybe one of those frogs? I don't know. Yeah, because it says fill with beans or shop or doorstop. Jewelry cases. So, I mean, so funny. So like the turtle doorstop, the directions are here. We'll read bricks. Machine stitch the corners of the needlepoint to form a boxed edge. Trim raw canvas at corners only enough to create a smooth fit. Trim bottom edge of unworked canvas to 1 inch. If brick is too small, pat it until it fits. Cover the brick with manila or with muslin or similar fabric. Cut rectangle of felt to match the bottom. Blind stitch the remaining opening. I mean, it's that simple, people. Everyone should do their own finishing.
Do you want to know what my takeaway here is? We've become very lazy and reliant on a fabulous small group powerhouse of finishers. I mean,
they're telling you how to do all these things. Like each of those things only has like 4 sentences.
You're going to have to post that because there's a group, is it on Facebook? I think called
Needlepoint Finishing or
Self Finishers or something like that. I bet they'd love to get their hands on some of these old instructions.
So anyways, I just think like that's just right. Like I think like you said, have kind of made it more complicated than maybe it needs to be. I don't know. but
I love
I
it.
thought that was also a hoot. So that in here, and by the way, the first item says, and there's a reason I'm pointing this out to you, there's also a little thing there that tells you how many ply of the Persian yarn to use for your particular project.
Oh.
And then, but the very, very first step is, actually there's two things on here that are really interesting. The first step is bind the raw edges of the canvas with masking tape to prevent fraying. So again, sorry, Mom, but here's her project. She didn't listen to the first instruction. By the way, if anyone is watching who knows my mother, I adore my mother, but and my mother is such a rule follower. This is cracking me up. And then it does very smartly say, do not mark on canvas with anything, or there is a risk of bleeding when the finished article is blocked. So,
I mean,
yeah. So here we go. They clearly didn't use frames. This is all folded up to be like a convenient size. And check out these little mushrooms.
oh my gosh, could that be more 70s? You know what though? We just had, you know who would love that? Our pal Joanna. And there was another woman who were like, when we did Wow Wednesday with the sale and
right.
that cute little fall girl, I think was it a Melissa Shirley or something?
Yeah,
and little mushrooms, and everybody was like, look at the little mushrooms.
Isn't that right? And I think, of course, these are the world's worst color with this, but Planet Earth makes a 3-inch coaster in red.
Oh yeah. You know, you could totally, are they stitched at all? It looked like there was like only a few stitches in there.
There's just the top of the red mushroom got done. That's it.
So you know what you do with that? Have you, not to beat the dead horse, but Joanna Plum Stitchery is working on an old Penelope piece, and she's putting yellow and white stripes a la the Dorothy Draper company behind it. And like if you did pink and white or lime, like celadon and white, like stripes behind that, like a lime,
it could be really cute.
They'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, and she
can ask a quick question though, because again, it's not really resonating well on the camera. So
sorry.
Call that, is it woven canvas? Is it 13 count, you think?
It is definitely woven. And I think it is 13 count.
Could be 12. I think they use that a lot then too.
Like it seems like a little bigger. So yeah, 12 might be more.
Okay.
accurate.
10 would probably be too big, but
well, the cat was on 10, I'm pretty sure.
Is that right? Oh my gosh. And don't they suggest 3 strands of the whole, like the whole strand of the pattern and for the, I'd be curious.
Well, I think that this direction where it says to use 2 strands on your project came with this project.
Gotcha.
But I'm not sure, you know.
So I bet it's all 3 for 10 count. If anybody is like finding this thing. So after this episode, if you go digging through your mother, grandmother, great aunt's basements and you come across some of these things, here you go.
So, and then this yarn is slightly different. And this is a yarn that I've heard of, but I have never seen. So some of the older, more experienced stitchers, this includes Elsa Williams wool. So it is tapestry wool. And I've heard people talk about Elsa Williams, but I've not seen this label before. So
I wonder if it's the same kind of texture and density as the Elizabeth Bradley tapestry.
It feels kind of like that. So here's the tip of one. Sorry, I can never. How is that you can never figure out where the camera is in this?
It's hard. Yeah, that looks about right. I mean, without being in person with it.
The twisted plied. You know, there's probably, I don't know how many plies in here. 6 ply maybe twisted together. I'm guessing something like that.
Yeah.
100% well, 40 yards. I just wish it had a price tag on it because I think that would be. I couldn't find a receipt. I wanted to find one of these.
Also would be fun to know. But yeah, I think that some of these pieces, so fortunately I don't know if we call it fortunate or unfortunate. The kitty already has a background, but those mushrooms, I mean, you could really sass those up with like a diagonal stripe or a, I think that would be cute.
I think that could be fun. So those I think at some point will get done. The cat, I think I have to finish just for like posterity's sake.
Yes.
It's almost done.
100%.
I don't really have an obligation to finish these. They weren't really stitched by my mother, but yeah, oops, I dropped some Elsa Williams. You get back in there, Elsa. Okay, what do we have
great
next?
Name. Elsa.
Okay, we're gonna save that for last. So this, I think, is also a crack up. So this is obviously later because this she has included in here. I hope this is all, oh, it's not in a bag. This she was using embroidery floss for. So this is clearly a little bit later because that didn't happen. And this is on, what do you call the canvas that like Alice Peterson stitch and zips are done on?
Interlock.
Just interlock. Okay. Are you ready? I should have done this better. So the needlepoint itself is rather pretty, and it clearly was personalized by the shop because there's an M in there.
Aww, that's so cute, but what is it?
That's the scary part. I believe. Let's see. Yes, it is a denim dress.
Oh, it's a dress? No, it's an apron.
Well, why would you have an apron that has needlepoint?
Hold on. Do you mind turning around? Does that connect in the back?
So this crosses over, and there's little loops in there. So like this strap. It's really hard to do this because I'm laughing so hard. This must be through here and then have like a little cross back. So it was, I mean, my mom was, so I guess it is an apron because I'm not that big and it doesn't close.
Melissa,
I mean, why do you want an apron with needlepoint on it? I don't know. And then there's these like patch pockets at the bottom.
This needs to be on a mannequin. We need a better shot of this.
Oh my God. It kills me. Just kills me.
And what I think is cute is your mom, I don't know her, but in her little head when she's like, I'm going to make Melissa the most beautiful dress.
So I think this was for
church on Sunday.
I have this vision that she was making this for my sister.
Does your sister's name start with an M too?
Yeah, our whole family, Michelle, Melissa, Maxine, and Milt.
Oh, Milt was your dad?
That's my dad, yeah.
So cute, Milt.
So she has, oh gosh, okay, sorry. I'm going to make fun of my mom again. Look at the back.
Oh, Max.
Total spaghetti. Although, I'm going to have to ask my sister. My mom may have bought this for my sister. So my sister, unfortunately, was ill much of her childhood. She spent 5 years not going to school. So they were always trying, and she is very artistic. And so my sister may have been stitching this. So she may have been in like 8th or 9th grade. So, we'll give her a pass on this.
I think we're going to want to know. I think we need to get some background.
So, yeah, I'll have to ask my sister about that. But what's interesting here is this is, actually, it's basket weave. It's a very messy basket weave, but that's basket weave. But then she's done like whoever she was, whether it was my sister or my mom, some long, like kind of, more embroidery style stitches.
Cute.
So
wow.
Can
you imagine doing that background?
I'm somewhat tempted to take the hideous jumper apart, whatever we want to call this thing, and, do something with this part because I think that part's really rather pretty. But I don't know.
Has Kaylee seen this?
She has. Kaylee probably loves it. She wishes it probably had a K in it.
Kaylee, that's what I was about to say. Melissa's daughter is so good at reduce, reuse, recycle, and she loves to wear like the old stuff that she finds. I would like to see Kaylee stitch that up and wear it for herself. And she's also got a little figure, so she'd be darling in it.
She might be skinny enough to actually have it be a dress. So anyway. Yeah.
I'm not sure what you were saving for last, but pretty amazing.
This is the funniest one in my opinion. The last one is it's so reminiscent of what everyone else is going to find in their mom's or grandmother's stash. So first of all, whoops, I just knocked over our microphone. Sorry if I had a big bang on there. This Fran Kirkland. And this is so funny because the very first needlepoint store I remember going to was Fran Kirkland, but this was on Mac in Detroit. Now this is like an area, the 1600 Mac. You would never go there anymore, ever. Very not a good area. But after they must have been on this Mac area, which I don't remember them being there, they moved to like our little shopping district that we call the Village. And I remember Fran Kirkland being in the village, and I had, Kaylee reminded me that I had a unicorn pillow that I was well into, that I finally just deposited in bin 13, like probably about 10 years ago. And now I kind of regret it. Something to do with a blue and pink and white unicorn. I don't know. Anyways, I was stitching it when I was in like 4th grade, and I thought it was the bomb. And I had, by the way, it had a border on it. It had like a wide blue border, and I'd done brick stitch on it in 4th grade.
You're such a savant. I love it.
So in here we have lots more pattern iron, and look at those 70s colors. Okay.
Beautimous.
70s. And this is the classic.
Oh, yep. Is it the pre-worked Penelope?
No, these are the sampler pillows that everyone used to do.
Oh, right. So that's why I have the sample sitting next to me. Okay, I'm here now. I'm with you now.
So totally, this one is totally done. My mom's initials down the side. Look at that woven. Can you see that woven spider?
Ooh, like, is it a spider or Jessica? Or I guess it's a spider.
No, I think it's that woven spider rose, I usually call it, but it doesn't really look like a rose because it's green and it's in wool. But then what are these called? I can't remember what these are called. One of your ANG members.
That reminds me of those quilts that used to pop out with the little thing. I don't know. There was like an infomercial of it, but anyway, I don't remember.
Well, these are really cute. And clearly she followed the directions here because her edges are bound, yes, with masking
tape. And she did
tape.
Some practicing on the sides there.
She was using her selvage, of course, no frame because nobody used a frame then. And I think her stitches are kind of cool. So she has this one, and then, oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that. Did you see it says 1970 on there?
Oh, that's perfect. No, I didn't. Oh, I love that.
I just noticed it because here's the matching one.
Oh, and now that one doesn't appear to be completed.
This one just has 3 open squares. Sorry, I need a third hand. 1, 2, 3 are still open.
So when we were talking about this, it was on speakerphone. We were planning this out. So one of my employees, Stephanie, said, "Oh, I've got something for you for that." So popped into my office this.
And it is one of those sampler pillows.
As a button. Yes. Do you see? So it's all the squares. And this
so cute.
Is that, but a different colorway. And this is obviously now not a sampler square. It is the cutest ever little pumpkin. Oh. And
that's fine. I think her first name is Sharon Woolman. Is that right?
I should have probably.
We should check that. We'll put a link in our show notes about that, but it's Woolman pumpkins or something like that.
And she makes these with this real little, I mean, this is so cute. If you had like this, had this sitting on like your little, it's heavy, it's weighted like a paperweight. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I think Stephanie found this in what'd she say? An antique mall or something, and just couldn't pass it up and sent it off to be finished into this really cute pumpkin. Oh my gosh, it's cute.
So the gal who does those pumpkins, she has like a harvest every fall, she calls it, and you can sign up to get her harvest announcement. So I have 2 of them because I think they're super cool. Mine are they're not done with sampler pillows. They're just done with, just some other older needlepoint piece. So I feel like all I'm doing is trashing my family. I swear I love my family. But my sister came over for Thanksgiving, I think last year, and I have 2 of them sitting on my bookshelf in my family room. And she's like, of all the needlepoint I've ever seen you do, I think these are the coolest. And I'm like, yeah, well, I bought those. I'm like, oh, stay cool apart. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what I was thinking we're going to show us was one of those pre-worked pieces. Is there any of that in there? Oh my, look at that hank.
But I want to show you guys this is what a full hank of pattern iron looks like. This has not been opened. So that's a lot of wool.
That's
clearly she was ready to go. A lot of stuff in here. Wow. Trying to see if there's anything else interesting. Nope, don't know what these are. She must have finished a couple things because there's a couple tags in here from other needlepoint projects that aren't represented. So I don't know if I'll have these made into pumpkins or don't know. I think you could get, I should have looked before we started. I was going to do that because we changed our schedule. So I didn't get around to it. I was going to look and see if we had some really cool fabric, because you might be able to make some really cool pillows out of these now. I mean, the colors are kind of funky, but.
I wish I had it, but I don't, because it's with the finisher. But I thrifted a piece of needlepoint that's about those colors. It's a floral, but it's all, it was all stitched. It was a floral, like this, these crazy colors. And I'm having it inset in fabric. In fact, the fabric I have would look kind of cool with that. I think it's a leopard, a green leopard fabric. And I'm having it seat of a little vanity stool that I have in my little stitching space. So, you know, something like that would be really fun too.
Yes, it would. Sorry, I did not see this before. So she was clearly starting something else too. Look at that cool stitch on the side.
So that's the binding stitch on the side, isn't it?
No, because it's like, it's a herringbone. Oh, this part. Yes, I'm sorry. It absolutely is. But then like she's got these 2 rows of this herringbone, which I think is so pretty.
That's really
what
cool.
This was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Other than it was tucked. Sorry. It was tucked in this little book that has my mom's, you can't really see it, but my mom's written her name in her beautiful cursive on the top up here. And this totally reminds me of like Elizabeth Bradley rugs.
Oh yeah, really pretty.
So this is the Robert Mcleod and Son Inc. and expert cleaning and repairing of antique tapestries and needlework. So you can order the canvas. Oh my God. You can order the canvas. The prices include the cost of the canvas, design, wools, needle, and instructions. Okay, so eyeglasses case, canvas, design, wools, needle, and instructions. $10.50.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this is probably in 1970, because remember, this was dated 1970, right?
Wow.
And oh yes, see here.
But it was also, she's charting it, right? That wasn't painted.
Makes me want to cry. This is my mom's writing with all her little squares and what stitch goes where.
Oh, that's so cute. That's on her, the little sampler that she was doing.
And then this is, see, from the desk of Maxine and Manley. And here's her chart of her herringbone stitch.
Well, there you go. Now you can finish it.
I know. So let's see. Let's just look at a couple other prices in here, because, you know, I think that we have to. Okay, so like, look at this pretty little, this is a rug. Wow. And they are overall size is 3 feet by 4.5. And it's $35 a square. So 70 times 3, $210 gets you the whole rug, the canvases, and the wool.
So, but you're charting it. Am I right?
No, I think they're painted canvases.
Wow.
In this.
So this is just like a catalog of things you can buy that you could have sent to your house.
This is from the Robert Mcleod and Son in New York and San Francisco.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's a fun adventure.
I know. So it was super fun. And I hope if my mom watches this, she won't be offended that I said she never finished anything, because she finished her sampler pillow and almost finished a second one. And those are big projects. So
she sure did. And yay, Maxine, nice work.
Yes. So we'll have to decide. People can comment on what they think I should do with all of these things. I think the cat needs to be a pillow. And I don't know, maybe I'll do pumpkins out of the samplers, but I kind of feel like they maybe need to be matching pillows and give them to Kaylee or Allie or something.
So cute. I love that. I love that. You know, we're going to have to do this again with thrifted finds, because there are a lot of people doing a lot of really cool stuff out there with things that they find. And I have some great examples of that here in the shop and at home, because I never can leave something behind. Like when
I have Kaylee now. Kaylee loves to vintage shop, as you alluded to. And so she brings me home stuff. So I think it was maybe 1.5 years ago, she found this really pretty winter scene in this hideous frame that was literally falling apart. And it was $12. She's like, should I buy it? I'm like, So I have a really great messenger bag made out of it. And
yeah. So I think the difference between grabbing things that were $12 at the, junk shop or whatever people call it. And having these things, you know, these are so special to you, and making the choice of what you want to do with them is probably going to be a little more difficult than say, sure, send it off to the pumpkin lady and smush it up and make a pumpkin, you know. I can see what
my mom's love that's built into it.
Yeah. So. And so I can understand why this is going to be a little more special and a little more thoughtful for you than it would be for us just to, you know, whip some leopard print fabric onto the side of my thing that I found, you know, I mean, that's tough. So, but I think it's so cool. And I hope that this inspires people to maybe like take a look or ask their family member or someone, you know. We get more than I would like to say, I think, of donations, people dropping things off and saying, I found this in the basement and I don't know what to do with it. And we try to respectfully go through it and see what we can find and see what we can use in the shop. We use a lot of it for classes, you know, a lot of the wools and things are great for just getting people started. But it sure would be nice if they could stay with the family. And like you just said, like do something with it, give it to your daughter, give it to a future grandchild, you know, something like that. That would be pretty cool. Cause these are heirlooms, you know, I always say that.
Sure. I'm going to throw one little like helpful hint in here was something that I learned from one of the shop gals here. If you find things that have a lot of wool in them and you're not sure where they've been stored and there's a possibility of moths, stick them in your freezer for 3 weeks. That will kill any buggy boos. And we're very conscious of that here. I mean, I know you have wool things in your shop, but being also a knitting shop,
yeah.
If I have a moth in here, I'm dead in the water. So we're very conscious of that. And so anytime anyone brings in a sweater they want repaired or an older needlepoint that has a lot of wool and they don't know, you know, the manner in which it's been stored, it goes in a plastic bag in the freezer for 3 weeks. And then we know that we're good to go.
So that's a great idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. So anyways, that was my fun week. Last week was going through all this stuff and I had a feeling you'd get a kick out of it. And I wasn't necessarily planning on it being a podcast, but when Kaylee said, I think everyone would think that was really fun. Hopefully they did. Otherwise they could have just time too, right?
I sure did. You know, it just adds another spin onto things that all the things that we do here and what we talk about. So I think it's fabulous. I love it. I love it. And like I said, I hope this inspires other people to kind of dig deeper and see what they can find. So
good. And we'll do it, like you said, another episode where we'll show off all the things we've rescued because because
I have a ton. And and I think that would be a really fun podcast. So let us know, guys. So, well, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing the deepest, darkest secrets of your mom's basement.
My bad girl habits from when I was 7, hiding in the closet, stitching.
I love that. I love that. So if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we would appreciate if you do so. There's just a big red subscribe button. And that all that does is give you a reminder of when we post something new. And it also helps us to continue to get out there and spread needlepoint info to the masses. So thanks again. I think that wraps it up. Am I right? Did I forget anything?
Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay. Well, I will talk to you soon, lady. And I've got my wheels turning on what you should do with all that stuff. So
good. Okay. And then I appreciate comments from the audience too. So if anyone
for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.